Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're a person who always get excited about strange new things, or you like to watch a video like this, it make you feel excited to see new things, you're probably, like me, a future forward thinker. And in today's episode, I want to talk about something really fascinating that I had a conversation with my intern from Italy. What Gen Z are learning right now will blow your mind, and it make you rethink about how designers, artists, creators nowadays, what's the new skill set you need to develop. Not to give you stress or anything. It's very exciting because it's a lot about the mind shift. It's a lot about how you think, the perspective you have. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, I'll just get to the point. Yesterday, my intern arrived from Italy, Rome. First day coming to the office, we're working on something together. She studied digital innovation in Rome. Digital innovation sounds like a very exciting major, right? And it's really new. So I got a lot of questions in my mind. So we had a conversation going. It became a really long conversation that I want to share with you guys. The most fascinating part is when I ask her which course in the school is your favorite and what did you learn from that. The answer really blew my mind because she was talking about there's one course in the school called trend watching, taught by one of the top futurists in Europe. Crazy, right? And of course, I have a lot of questions. Trend watching, probably in our mind when we hear the word, is about predicting what's the future trends. A lot of time in the finance or fashion industry, it's not about that. It's about building your awareness to spotting what's new around us. And during a class, the student will be brought outside to make reports about what you've seen, what you've noticed that have changed, even like what people are wearing constantly. Like, did you notice the difference of the ice cream, how it shapes, or did you notice the window display? Something is different that is new if you can write a report about it, or if you find some really interesting artists online, which I will always talk about how the artists nowadays are using different tools to create new formal art or all kinds of exciting things. Oh my god. Well, I'm talking about, I already feel like goosebumps because it's really just triggered a sweet spot of mine. Yeah, I'm always talk about curiosity, open to possibilities, and noticing what's going on around us that feels like future. And that's exactly how I want to express in my channel, is to build awareness about the future coming that is not full of fear. Instead of fear, more like playful and curious, and then embrace the change. And then at this point, we're in this chaotic, fast-paced world. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, and things can shift with like 1 sec. Things can shift in a completely different direction. So of course, a lot of anxiety is happening, but at the same time, being trend watching or future forward thinking is not about predicting the future. It's just about in tune with the future. Like, you're ready for it. You're probably, possibly leading the future. When you think about AI, like in my industry, AI, fashion, AI, virtual identity, there's a lot of room for us together to shift it, because that's what I've been talking about. Because everything happens so fast, a lot of people are jumping into it and create things. Nothing is shaped yet. So there is room for us to shape it together. That's why to talk about it, to have an open mind about it, and keep asking the question why, will help the industry shift in the way we want. And that kind of sensibility to be aware and spot, observe, it could be the superpower in the future as designer, as designer, as artist, as creator. Even though you're in a tech industry, artistic branding, artistic expression is so important right now. You can't just have the tech company completely disconnect with majority people because it's hard to connect to consumer to individuals, the art part is never as important as now to connect with the tech world. And yeah, it's just really exciting for me to talk about all this and then see how schools are shifting the way to educate young people and how easy for young people to feel the change, to adapt to change. It's a new language for them. It's never, like, probably for a lot of people, I'm millennial. For me, it's, if I'm not in the tech industry, I feel like probably is I'm still living, like 9 to 5 job and doing the same thing. But still, correct me if I'm wrong. Even when you're in a company, there are a lot of shifts happening all the time. You are not really doing the same thing all the time, right? You still have to come up with new strategies, with new ways to connect with younger generation, or all this kind of behavior are constantly changing now. So we need to be more sensitive about what is changing. And the most important thing is to have a curious and playful heart about everything that is changing, instead of feeling like left behind. We can all be the future forward thinker. So if you ask me how to practice the way to have the future forward thinking strategy or the mindset, I think there are 3 things I listed. I think it's pretty helpful. The first one is to write down all the signals you see, like repetitive patterns you see online or offline. If you see a really unique window display or a very unique way people dress, but start to get a little bit trendy, or it's very quiet, subtle little changes that you probably would just like before you would just like notice it, but you don't really be aware about it, or you didn't really write it down or anything like that. But then you realize, oh my God, it become a trend. Those little things, maybe you can write it down. I will do, and I want to do maybe once a month, do a little, tech, art, fashion report to talk about all these changes. And then let's see if we can really predict the future or not. It's a very interesting practice for me as well. The second one is something I've been practicing, is to try to be uncomfortable, using tools that you never used before, or try something that you feel like, no way, I'm going to try this. But for example, I always encourage artists to create content online, using AI tools, just to see what bothers you. Even if it's something negative, you can write it down, and then the experience is very important. Maybe as you practice with AI tools, you notice something different. You notice something that you wanted to explore that you never thought about it before. It's just the way to open up your mind. The third one, of course, is I always talk about the why questions, and what if questions. Like, what if in the future a photographer cannot use camera anymore? The camera disappeared. Like, what if that's happened? What else we can use? What could happen? Or what if there is no physical clothes anymore? I don't know. I just like all kind of weird questions you can throw at yourself and think about the possibilities that could happen in the future. When you ask this what if question, I feel like you're not just imagining the future. You're more like placing yourself into the future. And then even though you feel uncomfortable, it gives you this uncertainty kind of fear. When you overcome that fear, right? Maybe this uncertainty is become an exciting thing. I never think uncertainty is scary, because it's all about your mind. If you don't give yourself the anxiety about the future, but you switch that into positive excitement about the future, then the whole point of view will change. And don't you think the world is already uncertain enough? Like, everyone is experiencing certain kind of uncertainty. So I think it's a good practice for us to all have. And by asking questions and talk about it with friends together, and you're kind of like move forward together without fear. So here are the 2 questions I want to ask you guys. Please answer on my comments. I will give you my answer as well, because I think these 2 questions is quite important to set the tone of this trend watching, future forward thinking mindset. The first one is, what's something small you've noticed lately? You feel like it means something. Please write on the comments. To me, I realize when I talk with friends recently, I notice this ChatGPT come up very often. And my friends in Tokyo, like she's one of my friends, she's telling me how interesting that when she have relationship problem with her husband or educational problem with the kid, like all kind of questions she'll ask ChatGPT. And ChatGPT will always give very encouraging, make her feel confident that she says she rarely get from human, like her friend or husband. Like she just kind of feel soothing and she feel confident. Psychologically, it really helps her. And I start to realize how ChatGPT or AI has slowly changed the way we communicate. It's kind of reshaping a little bit the expectation of communication, the creativity of it, like the confirmation of what you want to ask. I expect more from ChatGPT, and I feel like I always get the answer I want. I don't know if that's how you feel, but this is just all started maybe a year, right? Imagine 5 years, we get so used to talk to AI, and then there's a bad or good part about it. So yeah, there's a mind shift here. It's coming. And then what's gonna come up after this, I'm not sure, but I feel like the shift is here. So what do you think? And the second question is, what's the subtle shift in the world around you that you think we should pay more attention to? Please comment on my video and then share your thought. To me, there's one thing I notice is, because maybe I'm like sharing contents online more often, I feel like people are more making more like quiet content, not the loud ones that have very like cinematic shots and anything like that, but very honest, genuine comment kind of talk. Sometimes I feel like TikTok, I'm like just having not a conversation, but like you feel like people are sharing their secrets, their perspectives, their mindset, their struggles, just with like talking on FaceTime with some strangers. But that's some content I realize it could be a little shift. Probably it has been there, but more often right now. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that's something I've noticed. Like, what do you think? The reason why I want to make this video and continue, probably have a new series called Future Curiosity series, because I want to discuss all these questions and then share each other's mind, like what we notice online, offline, and then maybe we can build these little communities together to move forward to the future together with excitement, and then talk about all these difference. Yeah, I'm really think about it right now. So that's something I'm really passionate about, and then I feel like it's really good tool for artists, creators, creative people, basically, to not feel left behind about this tech world, chaotic, fast-paced world. And then for the next video, I'm also thinking to have an interview with my intern, talk about more detailed questions, like what it's like to study digital innovation in Europe, and how her generation feels about virtual identity, AI, and all these new things, and how they navigate with it. I hope it's exciting for you. Please subscribe my channel for a new episode if you're interested. And then, yeah, meanwhile, I hope this video can inspire you to open your eyes, your mind, be more aware about all little changes in your life, and hopefully can make you feel less anxiety about the future, more excited to almost like detective game, spotting the difference, spot the new things. And yeah, let's grow together and let's move forward together. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.